there, so I was like, absolutely.
Well, he's not good debater. He's pretty piss poor.
So, Kate, it's Harry Mack.
He said something like, let me go and check what the screenshot says. 1 minute.
So he's a Michael Jackson fan. I've told his profile. He cannot even dance like Michael Jackson. He
can?
He thinks he's something special. He's dancing and he's not. He's absolutely pissed poor.
He put in the comments last night, because I got a screenshot of it. She's going to have a ride open tomorrow. Keep an eye on my page. So I screenshotted that. But Carrie, a couple of months ago, had originally Envy on her backdrop and basically called her vile.
So really?
And then when Envy went to debate him, he blocked her.
Oh.
It was on the 9th of July he done that, and then he went live again on the 11th of July, and was only live for like 30 seconds and then stopped. That he done that. So
Yeah, I say a couple of months ago. Anything from me from yesterday to last week could be a couple of months.
yeah. That's
If it wasn't yesterday, it was like, like 6 months ago.
it's what I call mother's time. Because they're that busy with work and parents.
I call it thyroid time because I forget everything that happens in the day.
I just told Michael last night he was proper trying to stay relevant.
Aye.
And I said to him, why are you trying to be relevant?
Absolutely, with sniffing for Echo's backside.
Thank you, Buttercup.
Absolutely. You know, just the stuff that he was saying was just trying to scream, pick me.
I don't know why the hell Echo is still on this goddamn app. I have all of his information. I've never shared it, but I have all of his information after he doxed my mother. I don't know why anybody still platforms with him.
Me either.
If there's anybody that would like to discuss what a woman is, please feel free to join the panel.
Well, a woman to me is someone that denotes to the activities of females in a social construct that wears dresses, that just sees themselves as a woman.
Behave, Michael. You're not even...
It's not funny when I do it. It's only funny when fucking Sassy does it.
I think a woman is somebody that just looks really feminine.
But yeah, it all kicked off last night when everybody went off MV's live.
Why? What happened?
So, firstly, I was scrolling. No, firstly, what happened was Brooke went live. Big back Brookie Mountain went live. He was streaming Karen's live, dogging them all out. Oh, did I chase Wildcat away? Wildcat, I'm sorry, come back. Yeah, he chased what? He was dogging them all out, and then he was like, right, I'm going to go over there and cut his live off. So I jumped over to Karen's and I said, listen, Brooks on his way over, heads up. So he got up in the panel, he hits a complete crash out straight away on Animosity, shouting, you're a SLUT and, you were never involved in DP and you were never trafficked and you're just lying, you're just this and that and the third. So goes on a wee bit and then obviously Animosity comes back, and I don't really care what you think, I know what's happened, etc. Then what he went and done, and I'm sorry for anyone that's here that it might trigger, so I apologise, but he put a screenshot up of Animosity in one of the videos that is online about him.
It was revenge corn.
Yep.
It was actually, I could not believe, I actually went up and talked to Animosity because I felt so horrible. Oh my God. If people are still backing that side, I think of them completely differently now. I used to just get annoyed But now seeing what they did to Animosity, I I have a complete anger issue with them now because that was just it was disgusting.
Yeah. And can I just say, anybody that is here watching this right now, if you see Animosity live at any point today, please don't bring it up to them. Just show them a little bit of support. W's in chat and Animosity. We love you, Animosity, etc., etc.
Just show them some love.
So that happened. So obviously Karen's kicked them off the panel. That was the first time. Then Karen's went live again straight away. Then allowed them to come up onto the panel again. Personally, I wouldn't have, but I understand, your mentality at that point is like, well, he's done it, he's not going to do it again. And because he was backed off into a corner, and they were talking about, intellectual property and, that website bought it, so they can't have it removed, etc. He went and dropped it again. He says, well, now I've got it, I take it I've bought it, and now that I've got it, I take it I own it then, and threw it back up.
You know what's disgusting to think about is somebody going out of their way to find this, pay for it, and then screenshot it. Like,
Yep.
There's something mentally wrong there.
So that happened. Then after all that happened, I was scrolling through TikTok, and Grandma Kim was up in a panel with some crazy woman just getting dogs abuse off her. So then me, the big jumped on my white horse and jumped up onto the panel and was like, don't you speak to Grandma Kim like that, and laid into this one.
What time did you actually get to bed, Michael?
6 o'clock this morning.
Oh my gosh.
Well, you're better than me. I went to bed at like 10.
6 o'clock, my eyes are nipping. Nipping.
So it'll be safe to say early to bed tonight then?
Nah.
No.
Sleep for the week. I'll sleep when I'm alive.
Huh.
Now I'll probably end up passing out at like 3 o'clock or something again. But
I have a horrible insomnia, so I get it. But last night I took a Dramamine and it knocked me out.
Nice.
If anybody would like to discuss what is a woman, please feel free to join the panel.
My love, I gotta drop. I gotta call my mom. She's blowing up my phone right now, so I'll be back.
No problem. Thanks, Ricky. Thank you.
But yeah, it was a bit mental last night, so I don't know what was in the water.
I mean, what they were saying in Echoes Live about envy was just crazy.
Yeah. It was. I couldn't sit in there for much longer after I heard half the stuff they were saying. I was like, you know what, there is no talking to these people.
No, there isn't. I think they're that blinded by the delusion.
Yeah. And they've got a cheek to say anything about envy when they've got someone on their panel that wishes people unalivement at any time that they get the opportunity to.
Oh, they cherry pick. They 100% cherry pick.
Yeah, saying that we don't hold our side.
I mean, it's the same with the whole, when he brought up Chloe. Same with that whole thing. What he failed to mention at the beginning, which is what I highlighted in the comments, Chloe was deceived. Look, morally what Chloe did was wrong. I'm not here to obviously drag up the old hat. What Chloe did was morally wrong. But we forget that Chloe had been deceived and it's legal in the UK. Again, just for people in the comments, I'm not condoning it, but he has actually broken no laws.
Yep. And that was what my point was too when I was saying, well, it's legal. Like, do I agree with it? No. But it is legal. And at the same time, when they were trying to turn around and say, this is why you're supposed to ask people for ID before sleeping with them. I'm sorry, I've never once said, sorry mister, before we jump into the sack, can I see your ID? And,
exactly.
And can I see your last test results from the clinic, please? Like, what?
Do you know what? Somebody asked me for a test result from a clinic, I'd probably be really insulted and I wouldn't want to see them anyway.
Mhm. Exactly. Guys, one in chat if you've ever asked somebody for ID and test results before having relations.
And
I
the
just
thing,
want to
well, what they
always
didn't believe me with, in the UK, we don't have ID other than driving license and passports, and not everybody has those. We don't carry ID, well, certainly not at the minute we don't. We don't carry ID cards around. And I got called a liar. I'm BSing. What do you do when the police pull you over? Well, if you're in a vehicle and the police pull you over, they will ask to see your documents. And they said to me, well, what about if it's on the street? Well, no, they'll just arrest you and stick you in the back of the meat van or whatever they're going to do with you. You don't have to hand over your ID card.
Back in the day, there used to be a citizen's card. I remember I got that at 16 so I could buy my mum and nan cigarettes. That was the only reason they wanted to get ID.
Citizenship card, that was called. I got one when I just turned 18, I'm 33 now, but they done away with it because they were too easy to fake.
I had an ID. They had ID cards when I lived in Germany, but that was more for security reasons, obviously with potential T attacks. But when I come back to the UK, so I come back to the UK in 1998, and I would have been 17, and I've never had an ID card.
Yeah. I never got a passport until I was in my late 20s, and I never got a driving licence until last November. You know, so... And the reasons that I didn't have both was because I couldn't afford them at the price of them.
I mean, my passport's out of date. It's expired.
Yeah, well, my passport has all my old but new details on it. I don't know if I'm going to even be able to use it still.
Well, do you know what, right? I've had a similar conversation with my parents. I mean, it's not quite the same, but legally, whilst I go by my maiden name, legally, I'm still my marital name, even though I'm not divorced. But I never changed my passport into my married name. So it was always in my maiden name. So if I've got my birth certificate and I've got my passport, would I need to change that into my divorce name, or can I keep it at my maiden name?
I'm not entirely sure. I think you do need to change the name on it to your divorce name, so your maiden name. But what I would suggest is phoning the passport office and asking.
Excuse me. Yeah, I mean, all my bills and my pay slips, etc., all have my known as name. My known as name is my maiden. Can I get your age, please?
26.
And can you tell us what a woman is?
Evil.
I'm sorry?
Woman is evil.
Female?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Will you agree with us then?
Yes, woman is evil.
Okay. Well, I think you agree with us. Is there anything you'd like to add before I drop you back to the comments? No? Okay, well, thank you for coming up.
How strange.
Oh, Bex, does it not sound like the same female?
No, it sounds like he was saying evil.
Oh, I couldn't understand him, to be fair. I think it's just going to be easier if I just go to Depot and just change it back to my maiden name.
Yeah, that's how I changed my name.
Well, like I say, my doctors, my dentists, my hospitals, my prescriptions, my pay, my bills are all reverted into my maiden name. But obviously it's not legally been done. I think it's kind of classed as a known as name.
Yeah. And it needs to be your legal name that's on your passport.
See, I would have thought when you got divorced, it would just automatically change, but obviously it doesn't.
So it's something you request in your divorce. It's not just granted. You need to ask them to put you back to your maiden name.
Well, I wish I'd known that at the time.
Because a lot of people, like my friend, well, no, that's a lie, she didn't, but someone that I did know, kept the same last name, like the married last name, because the kids had that last name, and they were worried, you know, if they ever went on holiday, that would be questioned why they've got two different names.
Yeah.
So she kept it, but when her youngest turned 18, she went and changed back to her maiden name.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I never thought of that.
And then remarried like 3 months later. Like, just wasted money.
I have a little
Never get married again.
an interesting thing. My friend, she was married to a bloke, and she took his last name, and now her son she had with him has the last name. They then split up because that person thought he was a trans woman and everything, so anything like that. She got with someone else, had another kid, but she used then the same last name as her ex-husband, which is obviously her. She's still keeping his last name. So she's got 2 kids by 2 different dads with the same last name. She's now just had another kid with a new bloke, and they were arguing about how her boyfriend now wants the child to have his last name. But she's saying, well, that's unfair because then the 2 kids will have different last names to their brother. And some of that. I just thought this is a really weird situation that you're all talking about last names, and like something similar is happening with my friend. So she put it down on the birth certificate that all the children now have the same last name. But her boyfriend was not happy about it. But she doesn't plan to marry the boyfriend, so there's not like she'd be taking his name anyway.
Yeah, but she's given the boyfriend, she's given what would be the boyfriend's name. She's given the 2 ex-partners ago's name to the child that the current boyfriend has created.
Yeah, like I said, it's a bit of a weird one.
I would be livid.
I would be mad as well, to be fair.
I mean, like I said, her reason behind it is that she wants all her kids to have the same last name. And I don't understand why she kept her husband's last name. Why did it revert back to her name? It's all a big weird thing. She's just weird.
My brother and his girlfriend, whilst they're engaged, obviously they're not married, but both my niece and nephew have got our last name, or my maiden name, so my brother's surname. But obviously they've got a view to get married because they're engaged. I personally don't think they'll ever get married, or if they do, they'll just go off on their own and do it. I think it'll be a long-term engagement, but they took his last name, my brother's name.
So one of my friends is divorced her first husband, and he takes nothing to do with the kids that they've got together, the 2 that they've got. So what she done was she changed the kids' last names to her maiden name. And he signed off on it. He was happy enough for it. So she then got together with her childhood sweetheart, who we all adore. He's absolutely amazing. And they just got married last month. They've had a kid together before they got married there, and their kid has her last name. And they've just got married just last month, and he's went and took her last name. So the 3 kids all have her last name, and so does the current husband, or the husband that she's got now. I'm not saying current because I don't want them to break up, but her husband has her last name, so that if God forbid, but if anything was to happen and they did split up, the 3 kids will still have, you know, her name instead of 2 with one father's name, 2 with another father's name. It's like, you know. And I thought that's the easiest way to probably do a situation like that.
Yeah, no, I think it's quite nice as well that the man actually takes the woman's name. Oh, because you don't often see that, do you?
It's not hyphenated or anything either. It's literally just her last name. And it was actually him that suggested it. And I was like, oh. But we all
I'd take a woman's last name if it made things easier.
Would you?
Yeah. There's a lot of boys in my family.
Nowadays,
The family name will carry on. I know the whole thing is obviously they don't want their family name to die, to unalive out. But there's a lot of boys in my family, so I'd have no issue taking my partner's last name if she wanted that to happen. And then obviously if you then happen to split, you just have to go through the proceedings and changing your name back.
So
Yeah.
if anybody would like to discuss the background, what is a woman? It's a shame that in 2025 we're actually having to ask this question, but if you'd like to come and have a conversation, please feel free.
I am the last person in my dad's, well, I'm the only person of my dad's kids to have his last name. So I'll be the only person to carry it on. So if I was further, which I never will because I don't really agree with marriage. Own personal thoughts, guys, don't at me in the comments. I would always be keeping my last name as it is. I won't ever change it because if I change it, it dies with me. It's going to die with me anyway because I won't have any kids. Oh, TikTok shot, we love you, we love you. Somebody kicked me, mods, Zira, kicked me, quick.
Sorry, Danny.
No, carry on.
Queen, do you mind if I explain something really quick?
Go ahead.
So in the United States, I don't know how it's done, like where you're at, but in the United States, at least in my state, changing your name is an extremely complicated process. I'm going through a name change right now, basically to get rid of like family ties because, you know, personal reasons and the way I was brought up, but that's neither here nor there. But here, you have to file paperwork with the court. You have to have paperwork signed by a notary public, which is basically at some banks here. And then after you get the paperwork submitted, a judge has to review the paperwork and make sure that it's an acceptable reason. They can confirm or deny